Namaste everyone. Today we are taking another book from Mitch Albom. As I mentioned last time, he is my favorite author. I read multiple books from him. This time I read Have a Little Faith. Um, just like Tuesdays with Morrie, in this book is also it's not a fiction. It is a non-fiction. He wrote it as a memoir, where he interacted with the two people who are like spiritual leaders. One is Mitch Albom is by basic is a Jew, so he used to go. He was going to synagogue, and he met with one pastor or father who became father accidentally. He's not like by education or anything like that. The Reb is from childhood. He was um, grown up to become a Reb, and he became a Reb, and he was leading the life as a father, which is a they call it as a Reb in the synagogue. So he meets them. So this is the story he mixes, and as usual, he tells half here, half there, half here, half there. So it's beautifully. It doesn't. We don't get bored reading his books. Very beautifully he takes it, and it's a small size also. This book is almost 250 pages or something like that. So the book starts with one question. One man approaches Mitch Albom and says, "Will you do my eulogy?" No, actually, he asked, "Can you do me a favor?" And he was kind of scared because from childhood he has seen him as a God man. Like God is on the heaven and he is the boss. And from childhood he used to see him as giving the Sunday sermons and all those things. And then like a principal from your childhood who is there for a lifelong. So he was not comfortable with him. And when he says, "Will you do me a favor?" He says, "You are supposed to give me favors. How come you are asking me for favors?" That's what his thoughts were going on. So he asked, "What can I do for you?" He says, "Will you do my eulogy?" Eulogy means after death, somebody will talk about the person, saying that how he is related to him or what achievements he did and all that stuff. So that's the eulogy. He gets surprised. Why is he asking me? So he runs away at that time. He doesn't respond. Afterwards, sometime later, he asks again. Basically, Mitch is disconnected with the church for a long time. He was not going. Childhood, he went there. Now he was going again and met him with the Reb, and he was asking. So Mitch says, "Okay, I can do it, but I don't know anything about you except you are my priest, or in our terms, a priest or a father. That's all I know, a Reb. I don't know anything, so I need to know more about you." He says, "Yeah, what do you want?" And that's how the connection starts. And he starts going to Reb's house and meet with him. And he sees him in the plain clothes, not the church clothes, which he always sees him. Just like seeing our priest in pant and shirt or regular clothes without the namas and everything, like that he sees him in the t-shirt and the pant or pajamas and other things. He sees with him, so he starts developing rapport with him. During that time, he meets with another father who is a church father. He started a church called I Am My Brother's Keeper. See, in Christianity, we have so many churches. So this is the intercity church in Detroit, which is called I Am My Brother's Keeper. That is the church, and his name is Pastor Henry Covington. That is the name of the pastor. He meets with him, and so takes this side and that side, both sides. He starts telling. One is Rabbi is in New Jersey, and Henry is in Detroit. So he used to fly between his native place is in New Jersey. So he used to go to Detroit to meet this person. On his business, he goes. That's when he meets him. So when he goes there, he was skeptical when he meets Henry, because there are a lot of people who try to amass money in the name of church or in the name of God. They want to collect money. So he was skeptical about him. So he wants to know more about him. So he starts talking with him, and he starts going there, and he asks his story. So he is seeing the story of two people. and he weaves together the two parallel tracks, contrasting comfortable suburban faith with gritty, which is the is from the New Jersey, comfortable life and suburban faith and other things, who has a big church and big congregation and everything. And this one is inner city, which is for redemption. And Henry's church has a big hole in the middle of the church. In that one he meets, and he says no one left behind, no one can, everybody can be saved. That's what his motive is. So these two he keeps mixing back and forth and tells them. So during that time, he comes to know about how what Rabbi is, and how humorous and how casual and he is, and he will have a deep conversations with him, where the Reb teaches about rituals, community, marriage, and how to face death with profound grace and unwavering joy. All these things will come from the Reb. And when he goes and sits with Henry, he learns about how Henry became a passion, suddenly a father, a pastor, pastor, and how he became a pastor, what is his life, and how what whom he is catering for, how he is surviving. All those things comes from the other side. So let me cover the Rep side. Rep tells about different stories. One story stayed with me is Mitch asks him, "Hey, you tell so many things to us to do this, do that, and other stuff, but we don't do much of them. We means many of the people, we don't follow them. How do you feel about it?" That's what he asked him. And the rep says, "Hey, Mitch, let me tell you a story." So he tells a story. There was a salesman who goes and knocks on the door. Uh, the guy from the maybe like me says, "I don't want anything. Don't come to my door." And I close the door. So the next day, salesman comes again, knocks, and I get irritated. And I said, "I told you not to come. Why are you coming?" So it happens 3, 4, 5 days. And the fifth day, not me, the guy, whoever it is, he spits on the salesman's face. So what happens? The salesman just looks up and says, "It must be raining today." And he wipes it out and goes away. And he says, "That's what my position is, Mitch, in the as a priest in the when I tell people, it's not other person. If they spit on me also, I don't care. I think that it is raining and go away." That's the story he tells. I said, wow, that's the patience they have, because they are in that profession, and a lot of people will say a lot of things to them, but still they follow their passion, and they keep telling what they need to tell. That's what a rep says. Then he asked about a marriage. He asked about a death. Reb is like 80-year-old. He was one time gives a scare, because one time they give a wrong medication or something, so he go falls down and he was about to die. Mitch gets a call. He was going somewhere else. He flies back, and but they found out they were a mistake, and he comes back. So Mitch asks him, "You gave a scare," and he says, "No, it's okay. I thought I'm done, but it's not." So he tells about the death and other things, and he also have a very jovial attitude. He says, he asks, "Do you believe in God?" Mitch asks him, "Do you believe in God?" He says, "Yeah," and he has a God folder. And he says, "I have folder on every one of you." He said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, the folder on every student of mine are the church goers, they maintain in the church." That's what he says. He trained, and he has 4 children, and I think he lost one kid. And that time he comes to know the sorrowness, and everybody was expecting what Reb will do, because his daughter died. So that time, what he tells to the congregation, and how he gave support to everyone, all these things come together. On the other side, Henry, he was an ex-convict. He was a prisoner. He was a drug addict. A lot of things. So initially, what happens was, he was generally like a person like us, and he starts his cousin or somebody doing drugs business, and he gets attracted. First, he takes the drugs. See, the problem is a lot of people, they do business, but they start consuming that whatever they are selling. That's when the business goes down. Like even you take regular business, same thing happens. So he starts selling the drugs, and he starts accumulating money. He starts becoming rich, but he once he starts using it, he goes down the drain. So he doesn't have enough money, and when drug people come, he used to blame that, oh, they came and took it away, so they beat me. He beats himself and shows that they beat me and they shot me on the leg, like all the kind of excuses he will used to give, and he starts consuming it. One time what happens was, he needs money, so he goes to one couple, old couple, and shows gun on their face and collects the money from them and uses it for the drug. So the old man, they steal the car, and they were running. Actually, they steal the money and they are going in their car, but cops come, so they throw everything out of the window and they go away. So when the cops catch them, they don't have anything with them. So they asked the old man, can you find out who drove your car away or who took your money? And they put everything. And this guy, Henry, thought, okay, this is done. I'm done this time. They're going to put me behind the bar. But nothing happens. The old man says, I can't recognize anyone. So he keeps questioning, why didn't he point out me and say that I am the one who did that? So that time he puts some introspection into his mind, but still he goes back into this drug business and everything. And one time he goes with one of the friend. He doesn't do anything, but he becomes associate accomplice for a crime, and they put him behind the bars for 8 years or something like that. So he asked his mom, what do I need to do? His mom says, hey, you were scot free for all other crimes. This is you didn't do, but you are behind the in the prison. So go through it. It's okay. So at the age of like 18 or 17 years old, he has a girlfriend, and he tells his girlfriend, like 1 year old girl relationship or something like that. He tells her that you look for someone else because I'm going to be 8 years in the prison. But the girl says no, and she used to travel like 3 hours by public transport to the prison every weekend, spends time with him for the whatever day prisoner visit is there, and then comes back home. So she maintains for 8 years. So mom says, you can get a wife, but not the girl like that. That's what she says. You can, if you forget her, you can get a wife. That's the easy one, but not like that girl. So don't lose her. So they get married and they are living together. They have a baby. During that time, all this thing happens. And one time, he steals money from somebody whom he knows and uses it for the drugs and eats. And then he gets the fear. Now they know that it's me, they are going to come and kill me. So he gets panicked and he goes, jumps into tells his wife and kid to hide. Wife doesn't know what's happening, and he runs to the dustbin outside and hides there with his gun. And he will be saying that, okay, tonight it's gone. That's the time he gets the God, just like Gajendra Moksham. He says, God, please save me. This is it. I am not going to do drugs. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. He keeps promising, God save me, God save me. Surprisingly, nothing happens. Next day, everything is clean. So he says, okay, I promised I am not going to do it. So he cleans up everything house, and he cleans up 4 days. He sleeps. He doesn't go to a drug addiction, de-addiction, or anything like that. He just sleeps through it. And almost a month goes by and everything. And one time there was a knock on the door. He was eating, and that time he says, who is that? Maybe somebody tell him that we are not in the here. But knock continues, and he goes, and there was cops. They come inside and says, we want to search your house. We know that. He says, you can search. And everything they search, and he knows that he cleaned it up. But suddenly he looks down and he sees there was a Bible, and below the Bible his drug deals, like whom he sold money, where the money came, whom he paid. All those dealings are in there in one red book. Above that, a Bible is on top of it. then he feels like a baseball bat rammed into his mouth. That's how suffocating he feels. But he just keeps there and says, "God, God." He was thinking God. And the cop searches entire house that he didn't find anything. And the cop goes to that book and he picks up the Bible, flips the pages, and puts it back. He doesn't see the next book. And so he says, "Okay, God saved me again." So that's when he becomes a pastor and he starts this church, and he starts taking care of people who are like him. He doesn't question who are you, what are you doing, nothing. Anybody can come to his church, and he provides whatever he has. Like he doesn't sells through everything, and he doesn't have anything. His wife supports him, and he feeds them church prayer and this thing. He prays whatever he knows, and they're using the Bible, and he says no one is uh, left to be saved. Everybody can be saved. That's what his motive. Like there is nothing like you are the worst guy, you cannot be saved or anything like that. That's how he does. Radically different past. So he takes care of them. There are a lot of drug addicts and other people will come, and his church doesn't have power. Still, they go through it. They build a plastic sheets around it, and the rain comes. They put plastic sheet for the big hole in the church. So like that, Mitch sees all of them. He goes through, he talks with them. And there was another guy, see, similar drug addict. He wants to tell his story. He tells his story similarly, a lot of things. So the contrast is Rabbi's perspective is suburban and synagogue, and the pastor is inner city church. Nature of faith is found in tradition. He is brought up like Reb, and from childhood, Reb is also in his own tradition. He followed it and he became a Reb. Continuity, family, study, lifelong devotion. But this guy, Henry, is found in radical transformation, survival, and total reliance on the grace. He puts it everything on the grace. We also tell that bal bal bach gaya. We are saved by grace. We also say these things. So dealing with hardship, Reb comforts the community through grief, loss, and the slow of trial of aging. But he says providing literal shelter, food, and hope to people society has discarded. See, all those people are discarded. They are not. We think that they are no use. Those kind of people will go to Henry's church. And in one time, Henry visits the church. All the people will be lining up. There was no heat, and just one whatever they have, they cover themselves and sleeping. When Henry covered about them, yeah, I'll come there. Main purpose is to connect. Reb's main purpose is to connect people to history, community, and God's enduring love. But for Henry's main purpose is to offer a sanctuary for redemption and proof that no one is beyond saving. That's the word I'm looking. No one is beyond saving. So that's how he contrasts both of them. And when Mitch covered about the church, a lot of people started coming. And one time when Mitch goes, he says, "Hey, Mitch, come over, see this." And he sees bags full of clothes, and all the people are coming and taking whatever they can fit them. And the person who shares story, he says, "First time I'm having my shoes." So he will have a shoes and other things, and they are thinking about how to patch the whole other stuff. So the I want to cover some of the stories from the Reb, who is a master storyteller. He did not lecture Mitch. He never lectured Mitch. He talks with him. He was jovial. He cuts jokes and everything. So he tells about a story of a man who died and went to the afterlife. He was given a beautiful, luxurious mansion, exquisite food, and servants who anticipated his every whim. For the first few weeks, he was happy. He was thrilled because everything is fulfilled: food, servants, everything is there. He's in a luxurious mansion. As months passed by, he grew profoundly bored, and there was no challenge, no struggle, no room for growth. Frustrated, he called out to the attendant and says, "I can't take this anymore. I need something to do." I need to feel useful. If this is a heaven, I would rather go to hell. That's what he says. The attendant looked at him in a pity and replied, "Where do you think you are?" That means he was in a hell where he doesn't contribute, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't do any of the. Think about us also. I recently read about luxury. We are most of us are here. We think we want to give luxury, like all the software people in India also. So they bought their mom and dad the house, and they give all the luxury. They gave servants. They don't. Before, dad used to make chai for the wife, and dad used to go out to get milk. Wife used to do some kind of curry for husband. These are the things they were doing it. But now the servant, they are not doing anything. They are just sit and eat. So they started. They became irritated. They started complaining. Uh, Son and the daughter-in-law are not sure what's going on. We gave everything to them. Why are they panicking? Why are they cursing us? Why are they fighting with us, quarreling with us? That's what they were thinking. When they go to a person, then he told them that they want to be used. They want to be useful. So we all want, like, right now I am giving this information and you are listening to it. So I got a chance to do it. Kalpana got a chance to host this thing. So these are the things which give satisfaction for us. We want to do something, we want to contribute. So the same thing, the story tells that if you are not doing anything, just sit and eat, and that thing, it becomes like a hell. So that is the story he tells, one story. And then he says, moving train. Mitch asks about the death. For that, he gives analogy or the story. He tells about this story. He is not afraid of death. And instead of expressing fear, the rep describes life as a journey on a passenger train. He tells that when you are young, you look out to the window and feel like train will ride forever. That's what we think. Oh, train ride will go forever, forever, and we never think about the final stop. But as train goes on, some of the passengers getting off different stations, your parents, friends, peers, all of them are getting down the different stations. Slowly, you will realize your own station is approaching. The rep tells Mitch that when my station comes, I won't fight it. I will look back at the beautiful scenery I enjoyed along the way, pack my bags with a smile, thank the conductor for a wonderful ride, and step off. That's what Rep tells to Mitch. Isn't it beautiful? Death is not a tragic surprise. It is like natural, simply a natural destination of a beautiful journey. The goal is to live in such a way that you are grateful to the scenery when it is time to step off. See, in life we have achieved so many of them. Even our parents achieved so many of them. I actually feel indifferent when people say, "Oh, I'm sorry for the loss of your." Always think, does the guy really feel sorry about it, or I don't know. It's my opinion. Why don't they enjoy about the company they had? Like one of my friend, I really amazed with him. Majority of you know or not, Mahalaya Amavasya. There is one thing in Telugu people, they do Mahalaya Amavasya. In general, I thought it is giving prayer oblations to parents, and brother, anybody passed away in our life, where you can give it to anyone, like menamamas or maternal uncles, father-in-law's mothers and father, everybody they can do it that time. So, but this guy told me that he celebrated beautifully by putting everybody's pictures in there, and they talked about them, like what memory they have about their dad or granddad or uncle or maternal uncle, mom, grandpa, all these things they talked that day. I said that's a beautiful celebration, because we are missing it. Like I don't know my own grandparents. I know only the name. I know my mother's father vaguely. Only one time I went to their house. That's the only I remember. My father's mom and dad passed away a long time back, so I don't have any connection. And my children, don't have any connection, because I am in US and my parent never visited, or in-laws visited here, so they don't have much connection. But if we tell all these stories to our kids, that's a beautiful stories we can tell to kids, and kind of leave the connection for them. So that is one. And another story he tells about is three keywords. Mitch asked about 60 years you are in marriage, man. How are you doing it? So he asked Reb's wife Sarah. Uh, he asked, "How are you happily married over 6 decades?" And Reb chuckles and admits that marriage takes a constant work and patience. He told Mitch that early in his marriage, he realized he needed a secret weapon to dissolve the arguments. And he says, uh, three words that are more important than I love you. See, he says three words more important than I love you is that's what kept him peace. So he says, "What is it?" Mitch leans forward and asks, "What is it? What are those three words?" And Reb tells the three words are, "You are right." You are right. Yeah. If we can tell that our spouse to that whenever the argument comes, you are right, the argument will fall off, but our ego will keep pushing, saying that no, I am right, the other person is wrong. So he explains the letting go of the need to win an argument is the ultimate act of love. And even Dale Carnegie says the ultimate best way to win an argument is not to argue. So Dale Carnegie is another great person. You should read that How to Win Friends and Influence People. Great book. So we can think of that one. So that's why Rabbi says Reb, Reb says that ego is the enemy of the connection. Our ego is stopping the connection with anyone. In relationships, choosing peace and validating your partner's feelings matter infinitely more than being right. Yeah. Even Wayne Dyer says same thing. You are right, I am right, in our own ways. That is another beautiful way, saying that yeah, they are in their own way, they are right. I am in my own way, I am right. Let's go with that. You don't need to prove that I am right, you are wrong. So like that, he tells beautiful stories. And he tells, I'll finish with the squeaky shoes. Another story, challenge of perfectionism. In this story, he tells about early life. Oh yeah. So one guy walks to the church. One time, Rabbi was giving his sermon, and he is very strict disciplinarian. He doesn't like any disturbances. And one guy walks in with shoes or shuffles which are squeaking, and whole church will be surprised to hear that noise. And Reb gets very angry. He goes to him after everything is done. He goes to him to scold him. But before he can speak, the man looks at him with tears in his eyes and says, "Rabbi, thank you. I haven't been able to afford a new pair of shoes in 5 years. I worked extra shifts for months just so I could wear these to God's house tonight." So he's feeling he is wearing that new shoes to the God's house. So Reb cannot say anything, and then he realizes that perfection is not can blind us to the beautiful, messy reality of human devotion. That's what he says. So these are the stories, and if it picks your interest, pick up the book and read it. Yeah, I bet you can't stop the book reading it. I finished it in 7 days or something, that too traveling and all that stuff. Very nice book. Thank you.